All right. So after we be able to add a new user to our database and also, of course, delete the user, now what we need to do, we need to update the user information. So let's say we have user like this one, blah, blah, blah at test.com, or let's say new user.com. And I need to update this user. To be able to update, first of all, you need to find a way to be able to find an input to change the user information. So either you write here edit button, or you click on the user itself and then something will happen. Now what I will do, I will add here an update button or edit button. So let's go to the route and I will go to the home page. I will copy this line, to be honest, but instead of delete user, it will be update user. And here this button has update user, and here we write just edit, which is basically, as you see here, edit. Now, for update user, I will also do some styling very, very quickly, which is similar to the delete user, to be honest. We will use the same padding. Everything will use the same, but instead of color red, we can go with the color, let's say like this one, and the border should be the same color. And for the hover, update user for the hover, the background color, we want to make it a slightly darker than this one. So basically we can make it like that. And we use the same darker point on this one here. So we refresh. Now you can see we have an edit one with the hover. What will happen when I click on it? When I click on the edit button, it will take me to the page /update/user with user ID. So let me go to define this one in the route. Route.get /update/user and user ID. Of course, we will make it like that. And now from user controller dot edit user page. Of course, we will get an error because we didn't define this one here. So we're gonna define it. Const edit user page equal to request response. And here we have to export it as well. And now we don't have any error. Everything is fine. This one is just because my laptop is a bit slow, but you can see the database is connected. Everything is fine. What we need to do when we edit the user page, as you know, we already have the user information inside request.parameter ID. So what I need to do, I need to get this user information from the database. First of all, get user info from DB. How we do that? We go with user model dot find by ID. What's the ID? The ID is request dot params dot ID. Now dot 10, which means we find user information, of course. I will just console log what is the user information that you already found. And we dot catch error. We console log what is the error. Now let's try. What I expected here, I expected to click on this link. Now it will search about this user information in the database, and it will give me the user information in the console if I found it. And since found the user information, so everything is fine. Now what I need to do, I need to render a new page with this info. So I will go to here and I will click on edit user.egs. Edit user.egs. This is basically similar to this file. I will copy paste, but I will remove this list. I don't want this list anymore. And I have here a head. I have here the header. I have the container, add user form. Okay, this one is for edit, so it will be like edit user form. And of course, we need to add the user ID later to know exactly what user I want to edit. And here we have the username and email, and here we have save, like just save, because here what we need to do, we need to edit the user information. And now what I will do, I will render this page. So we go with response.render. And what page do you want to render? What's the name of the page? It's edit/user. Now let's refresh. We click here. You can see this is the user information that we need to use, and this is the edit user form. Here we have the username, and here we have the email. But I should see the current username and the current email in this form. How I can do that? Since I already get the user information here, I can send this info. Like I will say user, which is basically all the user information. So now inside this edit user page, I sent a user variable, which is related to the user info data to make it more clear. So this is user info that you get from the database. I sent it to the page as a user variable. So I can go here and I can say, okay, UR has a value, and your value is basically an EGS, which is user.username. And the same thing for the email. You have a value, and the value is user.email. Now let's take a look. This is blah, 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 edit. You can see here, blah, 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 and we can change it, and we click save. So what should happen when we click save? When we click save, we should be able to see the user information has been updated in this page. Now, when we click save, we want to update edit user form, which user, also EGS, which user, user._ID. Let me show you again. If you refresh, you can see update user, and this is the user ID. Click here, edit user form, and this is the user ID that we need to update it. So everything is fine so far. Now I need to define this route in our route. Again, we go to our route.post. This is the functionality, edit user form, and the user that we will edit is basically ID of the user. Now from user controller dot edit form or edit user form. The first one was edit user page, and this one is the form, not the page. Let's create this function. Const edit user form equal to request and response. And here we need to do user model dot find by ID and update dot find by ID and update, not delete. What's the user that you want to find by ID, which is basically request.params.id. And what's the data that you want to update, which is basically request.body, the new data inside the body of the request. And here we have .10 if the user has been updated. So we need to response.redirect to the home page again. And if we catch an error, we can console log the error. We need to also require this function. And if everything is fine, we don't have any errors, then what should we be able to do? We should be able to update the user. After we click on the save button, it will take us to the home page again. So refresh here, this one, let's make it as Thomas instead of blah, blah, blah. And his email will be thomas@gmail.com. Click on save. It will redirect me to the home page with the new information. And now this one has a thomas@gmail.com. Now, new user, let me make it a new user 2244, and his email is just new 2244. Save. Now you can see new user 2244, new 2244, and we can delete. Let's make sam@gmail.com. Save. This is not an email. Save. Yes. Now you can see we have this, and then I found out I have a typo in my name, so I can click on edit and I can just make it Sam and save, and now it's just Sam, and now we can delete. So guys, we have a post request where we can add a user. We have a get request to be able to get all the users that we have. We have delete to delete the user, and update to update the user information. So this is the most important for request. get, post, update, and delete, and all inside the controller, route, and model we just created once to connect to the database. And inside the Vue.js, this is have our front end, our form to add a new user, for loop to get all the users. Here you have a delete button, and this is the edit button. And the edit button here, it will take you to the edit page, and the edit page will have a specific form to edit. And when you click save, you will save the edit. And this is the functionality. Add a new user is the post request to add a new user. Homepage, this is when you want to get all the users. Delete user is to delete one. Edit, the first edit functionality to render the page with the user information. And the second edit functionality, this is to edit the one in the database. The route is the same. Add a new user is post to add a new one. Homepage is to get, delete for delete. Update has two functionality. The first one to render the page, it's a GET request. And the second one to save it in TP, it's a POST request. So after this session, guys, we finished all the GET, POST, update, and delete. In the next video, maybe we can talk about relational database, how you make relation between post and users. Maybe we can also talk about how you can register and log in, and then our backend section will be finished. Just please keep a question, ask us if you have any questions. And I hope you enjoyed this post, get, update, and delete. We will make a last test, post at gmail.com. We have post, we have get, blah, blah, blah. We have delete and update. Matrix master. Now we say matrix master. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session. We'll see you in the next video.